In this video, we will uncover a shocking truth. Nearly 80% of olive oil is counterfeit and controlled by organized criminal groups. We will show you 10 countries where the falsification of oil has reached alarming levels and talk about the real efforts of law enforcement agencies to combat this illegal business. Some facts will leave you stunned, while others will only confirm your worst fears. But this is not just about deception. Some of these counterfeit products can be harmful to your health, and you might not even realize that you are already using them in your daily diet. At the end of the video, we will reveal a simple yet reliable method to test the authenticity of olive oil right at home. And we will give you practical advice on how to choose real liquid gold instead of falling into yet another trap for unsuspecting buyers. The shocking truth is that olive oil ranks second among the most counterfeited food products in the world, surpassed only by water and non-alcoholic beverages. According to industry experts, up to 79% of olive oil sold globally is either fake or adulterated, meaning it has been diluted with other substances. But this is not just a matter of price and quality. It is about your health and safety. Fraud involving olive oil has become so widespread that it has even surpassed the illegal markets for wine and honey. Recent investigations have uncovered a disturbing pattern of falsification in several countries, and the consequences are serious. Regular consumption of counterfeit olive oil can lead to nutrient deficiencies and increase the risk of chronic health conditions. This affects everyone, whether it is a home cook caring for their family, a health-conscious person striving for a balanced diet, or simply someone who wants to make sure they're getting a quality product for their money. But why is olive oil such a frequent target for fraud? The answer is simple. It is a valuable product with high market demand, which makes it an attractive target for counterfeiters. The complex production process, the wide range of classifications, and the difficulty of verifying authenticity make it especially vulnerable. Genuine extra virgin olive oil is expensive and requires a long and careful production process. This creates the perfect opportunity for fraudsters to flood the market with low-quality and sometimes harmful imitations, driven solely by the desire to increase their profits. Country number 10, Portugal. Portugal is a land where the sun gently warms the terraces of olive groves and the aroma of fresh oil fills the air in ancient markets. Its centuries-old olive trees, like living witnesses of history, gift the world with liquid gold that amazes with its flavor and healing properties. However, even in this sunny country, where olive oil traditions go back centuries, there are darker sides. According to the European Commission on Food Safety, around 10% of Portuguese olive oil on the global market is counterfeit. Cheaper oils and hidden additives are mixed in, reducing the quality and benefits of the product. Behind the romantic image of old olive groves lies a harsh reality. In the year 2023, Portuguese police, together with Europol, carried out a large-scale operation under the codename Oliveira Falsa. Raids took place on the scenic outskirts of Lisbon and in the quiet villages of the Alentejo region. As a result, law enforcement officers seized more than 50 metric tons of counterfeit olive oil. The value of the confiscated goods exceeded 2 million euros, an amount for which offenders were willing to risk not only their freedom, but also the well-being of thousands of people. The high-profile case of the company Azeites do Douro shook the entire country. The company's owner, João Mendes, along with 3 accomplices, appeared in court on charges of fraud and product falsification. Investigators found that for years they had been mixing olive oil with cheaper vegetable alternatives and selling the mixture as pure, high-quality olive oil. The court was strict, from 3 to 5 years of imprisonment for every person involved in the criminal scheme. Oils without certification are especially risky, often ending up on supermarket shelves disguised as premium varieties. Researchers from the University of Lisbon found that in 7 out of 10 cases, counterfeit oil not only loses its beneficial properties, but can also contain harmful trans fats. According to Portugal's Economic and Food Safety Authority, known as ASAE, 37 criminal cases related to olive oil counterfeiting were opened in the year 2022 alone. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. Many crimes remain undiscovered. When choosing Portuguese oil, give preference to brands labeled with DOP, which stands for Denominação de Origem Protegida. This label guarantees authenticity and is the only reliable protection against fraud. Country number 9, Argentina. Can you imagine that the land of tango, wine, and endless pampas would appear on this list? Argentina is hardly the first country that comes to mind when talking about olive oil. However, over the past few decades, it has become one of the largest producers in Latin America. But along with the growth of the industry came another side of the coin. A study conducted by Argentina's National Institute of Food Technology showed that approximately 17% of olive oil on the domestic market contains additives of cheaper vegetable oils. Most often, it is sunflower or soybean oil mixed in to reduce production costs. The story of the fight against counterfeit olive oil in Argentina reads like a detective novel. In the year 2021, the country's federal police carried out an operation called Aceite Puro, which means pure oil. It began with an anonymous tip about suspicious activity at warehouses in the provinces of Mendoza and San Juan. The results shocked even the most experienced investigators. More than 30,000 liters of counterfeit olive oil were discovered, ready to be shipped to retail chains. The market value of the seized goods was about $1,500,000 United States dollars, money that was meant to end up in the pockets of the offenders. The investigation led to an unexpected discovery. Behind the production of the counterfeit oil was an organized criminal group called Los Aceiteros, which operated throughout the country. The network controlled up to 15% of all counterfeit olive oil supplies in Argentina. The group's leader, Carlos Esteban Martinez, was sentenced by the court to 7 years in prison, a sentence many believe is too lenient for an offense that put public well-being at risk. But the case turned out to be even more serious. Authorities found that the counterfeit oil was not only being sold within the country, but also exported to neighboring Brazil, Chile, and Uruguay, and even far beyond the continent, to the United States. The international scale of the operation prompted Interpol to get involved in the investigation. Consumers who buy olive oil by volume or at unusually low prices are especially vulnerable. Studies confirmed that in some samples, the actual content of real olive oil did not exceed 30%. According to Argentina's National Food Safety Service, 42 criminal cases related to olive oil counterfeiting were opened in the year 2022, an increase of 30% compared to the previous year. This alarming trend points not only to a rise in criminal activity, but also to more active efforts by law enforcement agencies. Want to be sure of the quality? Choose oil certified by San Juan or Mendoza. These regions are known for their clean, traditional production methods and strict quality control standards. Country number 8, Morocco. Morocco is like an Eastern fairy tale, where ancient olive trees stretch their branches under the scorching African sun. Here, olive oil production is not just a craft, it is a centuries-old legacy passed down from generation to generation. But even in a country with such deep-rooted traditions, the market has faced the issue of counterfeit products. Research conducted by the Moroccan Institute for Quality Control showed that 15% of oils in the budget segment contain additives of cheap vegetable oils, which significantly reduces their nutritional value. The sunlit olive groves of Morocco hide a darker story of criminal enterprise. In the year 2022, Moroccan police carried out an operation with the telling name Zaytoun, which means olive in Arabic. In the region of Fes Meknes, known for its centuries-old olive-growing traditions, a series of nighttime raids took place. What the authorities uncovered shocked even seasoned officers: more than 75 metric tons of counterfeit olive oil ready to be shipped to stores across the country and abroad. The value of the seized goods was estimated at about 3 million Moroccan dirhams, a massive sum, in a country where the average monthly salary does not exceed 4,000 dirhams. During the investigation, 5 illegal production sites were discovered, hidden in rural areas. Far from the eyes of regulatory bodies, counterfeiters used industrial dyes and flavoring agents to disguise low-quality oils as premium-grade products. Laboratories that examined the seized samples found not only traces of cheap oils, but also chemical compounds capable of causing serious health conditions. The case took an unexpected turn when investigators uncovered links between the counterfeit producers and criminal networks involved in smuggling oil into Europe. At the head of the organization stood Ahmed El Hamoudi, a man who built an entire network for the production and distribution of fake oil. He was sentenced by the court to 8 years in prison, but experts believe that others will quickly take his place. The problem is especially urgent in export markets, where oversight is not always strict enough. Some producers exploit loopholes in legislation to sell diluted oil under the guise of premium products. The scale of the issue is striking. According to the Moroccan Food Safety Authority, around 200 to 250 cases of falsification are identified annually, with approximately 60 of them turning into criminal cases. In the year 2023, Morocco and Spain established a joint task force to combat cross-border trade in counterfeit olive oil, which led to the arrest of 23 individuals within just the first few months of operation. How can you avoid being deceived? Look for Moroccan oil labeled with AOC, which stands for Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée. It is a mark that indicates you are holding a true gift of nature, not the creation of criminal chemists. Country number 7, Greece. Greece is not just a country, but the cradle of olive oil, where ancient trees, some of which are thousands of years old, still stand as living witnesses to a time when philosophers spoke of eternity and Olympians anointed themselves with golden liquid before competitions. For centuries, Greek olive oil has been considered the gold standard of taste and quality. However, even here, there is a darker side to the story. Research conducted by the European Food Safety Authority revealed that up to 20% of Greek olive oil on the global market may be counterfeit. What is the trick? Dishonest producers mix it with cheaper vegetable oils, or even more deceptively, sell low-quality oil under the label of extra virgin. As a result, consumers end up with a product that lacks the beneficial properties for which genuine Greek oil is so highly praised. In the year 2023, the quiet olive groves of Greece were shaken by a large-scale police operation called Athena. Hundreds of officers simultaneously raided warehouses and production facilities on the island of Crete and in the Peloponnese region. The outcome exceeded all expectations. More than 120 metric tons of counterfeit oil, valued at approximately 5 million euros, were seized and deemed unfit for consumption. But the most shocking discovery came later. During the investigation, authorities uncovered the activities of a criminal organization known among insiders as Eliola dos Sindesmos, or the Olive Oil Syndicate. This network controlled around 25% of the counterfeit oil market in the country and had connections within government and regulatory agencies. The group's leaders, Nikos Papadopoulos and Stamatis Kyriakidis, created a sophisticated system for the production and distribution of fake oil that had been operating for years. The court handed down harsh sentences, 12 years and 10 years of imprisonment, respectively. The investigation exposed deeply rooted corruption. 2 high-ranking officials from the Greek Ministry of Agriculture were arrested for accepting bribes and helping the offenders bypass quality control systems. The scandal triggered a political crisis and led to a complete review of the olive oil certification process in the country. Counterfeiting causes not only economic damage, but also poses a risk to health. Laboratory studies conducted by the University of Athens revealed that in 7 out of 10 samples of fake oil, the level of beneficial polyphenols was below the required standard, and the concentration of oxidized compounds exceeded safe limits. According to Greece's Economic Police Service, 89 criminal cases related to olive oil counterfeiting were registered in the year 2022 alone, leading to the arrest of 112 individuals. However, experts warn that this is only the tip of the iceberg. Most offenses go undetected due to the sophistication of the counterfeiting methods and the lack of sufficient resources for comprehensive oversight. How can you recognize authentic Greek olive oil? Look for the PDO label, which stands for Protected Designation of Origin, along with the specific region, such as Crete or Kalamata. These are the places where the true liquid gold of Greece is born. A legacy of thousands of years of culture, not the product of criminal operations. Country number 6, Turkey. Turkey is a land where the scents of the East, spices, and traditions have intertwined for centuries, and the oldest olive trees along the Aegean coast have witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations. Yet even here, among the olive groves, lies a problem affecting millions of consumers. According to a study by the Ministry of Agriculture of Turkey, up to 30% of Turkish olive oil contains additives from other vegetable oils or undeclared ingredients, including chemical preservatives that extend shelf life but are not safe for human health. In one high-profile investigation in the year 2022, it was discovered that some oils sold as extra virgin contained up to 40% sunflower or canola oil. The calm of Turkey's coastal towns surrounded by olive groves was disrupted by a series of police raids carried out between the years 2022 and 2023 as part of Operation Zeytin, which means olive in Turkish. Police stormed warehouses and production facilities in the regions of Aydın, Izmir, and Muğla, all known as major centers of olive oil production. What law enforcement found shocked even the most seasoned officers. Over 200 metric tons of counterfeit olive oil with a market value exceeding 25 million Turkish liras. The investigation led police to brothers Ahmet and Mehmet Yilmaz, two businessmen who had built a true counterfeit empire. Under their direction, 15 underground workshops operated where low-quality oil was mixed with cheap vegetable substitutes and then bottled in elegant containers with labels imitating premium brands. The court sentenced both brothers to 15 years of imprisonment, a record sentence in Turkey for food counterfeiting offenses. But the most alarming discovery came from laboratory analyses. Experts found not only vegetable oils in the seized samples, but also industrial oils, including paraffin and mineral oils, which pose a direct threat to consumer health. According to toxicologists, long-term consumption of such mixtures can lead to chronic liver and kidney conditions. What does this mean for consumers? Most importantly, it means a significant loss of nutritional value. Research from Ankara University showed that counterfeit oil contains 60% fewer antioxidants and beneficial polyphenols than genuine extra virgin olive oil. Moreover, trans fats found in some of the samples may contribute to inflammation and liver-related conditions. According to the Ministry of Justice of Turkey, 156 criminal cases related to olive oil counterfeiting were initiated in the year 2022, an increase of 40% compared to the previous year. This concerning statistic reflects both the scale of the issue and the intensification of efforts to combat it. International organizations have expressed particular concern over an export network uncovered during the investigation, which was responsible for distributing counterfeit Turkish oil to countries in the Middle East, Central Asia, and Russia. The annual volume of these exports is estimated at 50,000 metric tons, a figure that raises serious concerns among food safety experts. To avoid falling victim to counterfeit products, look for Turkish olive oil with TTSE certification from the Turkish Standards Institution and verified geographical indications, for example, from Aydın or Çanakkale, where producers honor tradition and value their reputation. Country number 5, Tunisia. Tunisia is a hidden gem in the world of olive oil. Although olive trees have been cultivated here for more than 3,000 years, the country remained in the shadow of its Mediterranean neighbors for a long time. Today, Tunisia ranks among the leading exporters of olive oil, but troubling trends have emerged in the budget segment. Research conducted by the International Olive Council revealed that up to 15% of Tunisian oil on the global market is diluted with cheaper oils such as sunflower, soybean, or even palm oil. In one major scandal in the year 2021, it was discovered that some exported oils contained less than 50% pure olive oil, with the rest made up of undeclared additives. Tunisia's Mediterranean coastline, where the silver leaves of olive trees shimmer under the African sun, became the setting for one of the largest anti-crime operations in the country's history. In the year 2022, Tunisia's National Guard launched a series of synchronized raids under the codename Zeytuna, which means olive. These raids targeted warehouses and factories across the eastern coast of the country. The results shocked the public. More than 85 metric tons of counterfeit product were seized, valued at approximately $3,500,000 500,000 Tunisian dinars. But the most unexpected discovery awaited investigators further into the case. The investigation revealed a sophisticated smuggling scheme in which Tunisian oil was transported through neighboring Libya to Europe, where it was relabeled and sold as premium-grade Italian or Spanish olive oil. Behind this operation was a criminal organization led by Mohammed Ben Ali, a local businessman who had built an international network for the production and distribution of fake oil. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison, but experts believe this is only a temporary victory in an ongoing battle against counterfeiters. The case expanded to an international level when Interpol joined the investigation. Working alongside Tunisian authorities, international police uncovered a network spanning 12 countries, including France, Italy, and several Gulf states. In just 1 year, counterfeit oil worth over 10 million euros moved through this network. These schemes not only damage consumer trust in Tunisian olive oil, but can also pose a health risk. Laboratory testing by the University of Tunis revealed that fake oils were 3 times more likely to contain oxidized compounds, which may cause metabolic issues and allergic reactions. According to the Ministry of Interior of Tunisia, 68 criminal cases related to olive oil counterfeiting were registered in the year 2022, resulting in 93 convictions. However, this represents only the tip of the iceberg. Most of the criminal business remains hidden in the shadows. Experts are especially alarmed by the growing frequency of counterfeiting well-known Tunisian brands such as Olivco and Sfax Gold. This not only damages the country's reputation in international markets, but also erodes consumer confidence in genuine, high-quality products. How can you be sure of the quality? Genuine Tunisian olive oil carries the AOC label, which stands for Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée, and it is certified according to European Union standards. Oils from the Sousse and Monastir regions are especially valued. It is there that the finest examples of authentic Tunisian olive oil are produced, untouched by criminal influence. Country number 4, Egypt. Egypt is the land of ancient pharaohs, pyramids, and endless sands, now rapidly making its mark on the olive oil market. Under the scorching sun of the Nile, young plantations are spreading, promising the world a new source of liquid gold. However, alongside this rapid rise comes the threat of declining quality. According to research conducted by the Egyptian Food Safety Authority, up to 20% of Egyptian olive oil contains additives from cheaper vegetable oils, most often soybean or sunflower oil, which lack the beneficial properties and rich flavor of true extra virgin olive oil. In the shadow of the majestic pyramids, a modern criminal drama is unfolding. In the year 2023, Egyptian law enforcement carried out a series of raids under the code name Pharaoh in the provinces of Fayoum and Beni Suef, regions where olive cultivation has expanded significantly in recent years. The results were striking. More than 60 metric tons of counterfeit olive oil were removed from circulation. The market value of the confiscated product was approximately 15 million Egyptian pounds, an amount capable of supporting an entire village for several years. Even more alarming findings came from scientists at Cairo University. Traces of chemical solvents used to extract oil from low-quality raw materials were found in several samples. These substances may cause chronic inflammation, toxic liver damage, and metabolic disorders, a slow and silent threat to the health of thousands of unsuspecting consumers. Investigators uncovered an extensive network of underground labs, 8 well-equipped facilities where low-grade oils were treated with chemicals to give them the appearance and characteristics of olive oil. 29 individuals were arrested, including 3 university-trained chemists who had put their knowledge in service of the illegal trade. The investigation led to the discovery of a criminal organization called Nile Olives, which controlled up to 30% of the counterfeit olive oil market in the country. The group's leader, Hassan El Sayed, who presented himself as a respected businessman and even sponsored charitable projects, was arrested during a formal reception. The court sentenced him to 12 years in prison for organizing a criminal network and endangering public health. The main issue is the lack of strict regulation in the market. Unlike in Europe, where olive oil production is governed by strict standards, Egypt currently has no unified certification system to guarantee product quality. According to reports from Egypt's Department for Economic Crimes, 47 criminal cases related to olive oil counterfeiting were opened in the year 2022. However, experts believe this represents only a small portion of the real problem, as the majority of counterfeits remain undetected. The investigation revealed that a significant portion of the counterfeit oil was being exported to Gulf countries, disguised as premium quality products. The estimated annual value of this illegal export is between 25 and 30 million United States dollars, a staggering sum for Egypt's developing economy. How can you choose real Egyptian olive oil? Look for products labeled with COI, which stands for the International Olive Council, or those carrying European Union export certification, the only way to avoid counterfeit goods produced in the shadow of the ancient pyramids. Country number 3, the United States. America is the land of new technologies and endless possibilities, but when it comes to olive oil, there is complete chaos. Although California has already become a powerful production hub, the American market is flooded with counterfeit products. A study by the University of California at Davis revealed that up to 25% of olive oil sold in the United States under the label extra virgin does not meet international standards. The core issue lies in the absence of strict federal regulations. Many companies simply attach the coveted extra virgin label, even when the product is diluted with cheaper oils. Behind the polished shelves of American supermarkets hides one of the largest food-related scams in modern history. In the years 2022 and 2023, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, in cooperation with the Food and Drug Administration, conducted an operation under the code name Liquid Gold. What began as a routine quality check of imported goods at the Port of New York escalated into a full-scale federal investigation. The FBI uncovered a network of 11 companies involved in the large-scale import and distribution of counterfeit olive oil across the United States, from California to Florida. One of these companies, Mediterranean Delights Inc., became the central focus of the investigation. Behind the facade of a respected importer of gourmet foods was a well-organized system of document forgery and product falsification. The court showed no leniency. A fine of 15 million United States dollars and prison sentences for the company's executives, 7 years for Joseph Martinez and 5 years for Richard Coleman. In the year 2022 alone, more than 500,000 liters of counterfeit olive oil were confiscated during the operation, with a total market value of approximately 25 million United States dollars. That amount of oil could fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool, a shocking illustration of the scale of the problem. In one high-profile scandal in the year 2020, an American laboratory found that in 7 out of 10 tested oils, up to 40% was made up of sunflower and canola oils. This not only deceives consumers, but also results in the loss of valuable antioxidants that make olive oil so beneficial. According to the United States Department of Justice, 32 federal investigations related to olive oil fraud were launched in the year 2022, leading to 47 arrests and 28 convictions. However, industry experts believe this is only the tip of the iceberg. The majority of counterfeit products go undetected. What especially concerned investigators were the uncovered international ties between criminal groups. The investigation revealed established supply channels from Spain, Italy, and North Africa, where specialized criminal organizations were producing counterfeit oil specifically for the American market, taking advantage of loopholes in United States law. How can you protect yourself from counterfeit products? Purchase oils certified by the California Olive Oil Council or labeled USDA Organic. These marks guarantee that you are getting authentic, high-quality American olive oil, not a product of international criminal operations. Country number 2, Italy. In Italy, olive oil is not just a product. It is a living legend, its aroma saturating the narrow alleys of Tuscan villages and the sunlit terraces of Sicily. It is born among ancient groves where gnarled trees hold the secrets of centuries. However, even this sacred tradition has been stained by greed. Some producers, taking advantage of the trust of consumers, pour cheaper oils into bottles, stripping them of their divine taste and nourishing power. They are like alchemists, but instead of gold, they create an illusion of quality, diluting extra virgin with sunflower or rapeseed oil to save on every drop. The romantic image of Italian olive groves hides a darker reality of organized crime. In the years 2022 to 2023, the Italian financial police, Guardia di Finanza, and the special unit of the Carabinieri, NAF, carried out a large-scale operation called Oro Liquido, which means liquid gold. From the north to the south of the Apennine Peninsula, from Venice to Palermo, the police conducted hundreds of raids and uncovered a criminal network of unprecedented scale. More than 2,000 metric tons of counterfeit product were seized, with a value of approximately 50 million euros, an amount capable of filling an oil tanker. But the most shocking discovery was still ahead. The investigation proved the direct involvement of organized crime in the falsification of Italy's green gold. The Calabrian Mafia, known as 'Ndrangheta, and the Neapolitan Camorra had long turned olive oil into a source of enormous illegal income. This is no longer a small-scale operation, but a highly organized business with billions in turnover. During the operation, 87 people were arrested, including several high-ranking members of mafia organizations. Domenico Pelle, one of the bosses of the 'Ndrangheta, and Francesco Mancuso, an influential member of the Camorra clan, received prison sentences of 18 and 15 years respectively. However, as law enforcement officials themselves admit, the severed heads of the Hydra quickly grow back. Others go even further, dressing up mediocre oil in luxurious packaging, selling it as a premium product. The label promises extra virgin, but inside is a lifeless liquid, devoid of vital polyphenols and the rich taste of genuine Italian oil. The investigation uncovered elaborate schemes involving the import of olive oil from North Africa and the Middle East, relabeling it as Italian, and exporting it around the world with markups of up to 300%. Even some respected producers were involved in this scheme, names that for decades had been associated with quality and tradition. Sometimes the deception becomes a true geographical illusion. A bottle proudly displays product of Italy, but if the olives could speak, they would tell the truth. They were harvested in Tunisia, Spain, or Greece, and only bottled in elegant glass containers in Italy. This oil has never seen the Tuscan sun, but the cunning traders are confident. No one will ask. According to the Ministry of Justice of Italy, in the year 2022, there were 243 criminal cases initiated in connection with the falsification of olive oil, leading to the arrest of 329 individuals. But this is only a small part of the problem. Experts from Coldiretti, the National Confederation of Farmers, estimate that the illegal olive oil market in Italy generates approximately 1.5 billion euros annually, making it one of the most profitable areas of activity for organized crime. So if you want to feel the true essence of Italy in every drop of oil, look for DOP or IGP certifications, check the origin, and trust only those for whom olive oil is not just a business, but a part of the soul. Otherwise, you risk not only losing money, but also unintentionally supporting criminal syndicates for whom this liquid gold has become a gold mine. Country number 1, Spain. Spain is the queen of olive groves, the ruler of endless green hills where silvery leaves tremble in the wind and the sun gently warms the earth, infusing every olive with vital energy. In this country, olive oil is not just a product, but liquid gold, shaped by centuries of tradition. The Spanish people have safeguarded its secrets for generations, passing down the knowledge of perfect pressing from parent to child. But the more valuable the gold, the more people want to counterfeit it. Spain leads not only in olive oil production, but also in the scale of its adulteration. Research from the Institute of Food Safety in Madrid has shown that up to 25% of Spanish olive oil in the lower price range is fake. This means that every fourth bottle on a supermarket shelf may contain a mixture with cheaper vegetable oils such as soybean, sunflower, or even palm oil. The idyllic olive groves of Andalusia and the sun-drenched hills of Extremadura conceal the dark side of Spain's green gold. In the years 2022 to 2023, the Spanish Civil Guard conducted an unprecedented operation called aceite, which means oil. In the early hours before dawn, hundreds of officers simultaneously raided warehouses and production facilities in Andalusia, Extremadura, and Castilla-La Mancha, regions where the country's main olive oil production is concentrated. The results of the operation shocked not only Spain, but the entire world. More than 3,500 metric tons of adulterated product were seized, enough to fill 150 trucks. The market value of the confiscated goods was approximately 70 million euros. To put that in perspective, it equals the budget of a small Spanish city. The investigation exposed the activities of a criminal organization called La Aceitera, or the Oil Mill, which had built a true empire of counterfeits in recent years. Under the leadership of Juan Carlos Rodriguez, a former food industry engineer, the criminal network controlled up to 40% of the counterfeit olive oil market in the country. Experts estimated the group's annual revenue at 200 million euros, money that was then laundered through a network of restaurants, hotels, and even charitable foundations. The court delivered a strict sentence. Rodriguez received 20 years in prison, while 14 of his accomplices received sentences ranging from 10 to 18 years. However, the most shocking discovery for investigators was the industrial scale of the counterfeit production. 23 underground facilities were uncovered, equipped with the latest technology. This was not a case of homemade production. Criminals had invested millions in modern equipment that allowed them to create fake oil nearly indistinguishable from the real thing. The confiscated equipment was valued at 15 million euros. But the most alarming deception was not in the altered taste, but in the danger to health. Laboratory analyses revealed traces of pesticides and industrial solvents in the fake oils. In some cases, the concentration of toxins exceeded permissible levels by 3 times. These substances can not only damage the liver, but also cause hormonal disruptions, inflammatory conditions, and accelerate the aging process in the body. According to the Ministry of the Interior of Spain, in the year 2022, there were 317 criminal cases registered in connection with olive oil adulteration, leading to the arrest of 392 individuals. These statistics make olive oil one of the most crime-related food products in the country. The problem became so large that it required international cooperation. In partnership with Europol, Spanish authorities carried out the operation Fake Oil, which dismantled a distribution network of counterfeit Spanish oil in 25 countries around the world. According to expert estimates, the network's illegal annual revenue ranged from 300 to 350 million euros, a figure comparable to the budget of a large Spanish region. But how can one protect themselves from this dangerous game of disguise, from unintentionally supporting international criminal networks, and most importantly, from putting their own health at risk? How to choose real olive oil. Finding real olive oil among a sea of shiny bottles is no easy task. Supermarket shelves are overflowing with options: sleek labels, bold claims of extra virgin, promises of purity and freshness. But the truth is, all this glitter hides an entire industry of deception. Research from the International Olive Council shows that nearly half of all bottles are counterfeits. The oil is diluted with cheap vegetable additives and treated with chemicals, stripping it of its soul. In the year 2020, scientists from Food Control found that 79% of the samples they tested were not authentic. That means every second bottle may contain not liquid gold, but a substitute that offers no benefit to your body. So how do you avoid the trap? The label is a mirror of honesty. Real oil does not hide its origin. If the bottle does not show a harvest date, walk away. If it only lists an expiration date, that is like stating someone's age without their date of birth. An honest producer always tells you when the olives were picked, because freshness is the key to quality. Glass is the oil's armor. Light is the enemy of antioxidants. It destroys beneficial compounds and turns this elixir of longevity into just another fatty liquid. Real oil is stored in dark glass or metal containers, because its makers protect it like a rare jewel. If the bottle is plastic, do not even pick it up. Price speaks louder than words. Cheap means fake. Recently, journalists from The Guardian revealed that oils priced below 10 euros per liter often contain up to 50% additives. Real olive oil takes effort. Each olive is selected by hand and pressed without heat to preserve its healing properties. That process is expensive, so the price must reflect that. Check for certification. Data from police investigations confirms that having certifications like DOP, PDO, AOC, or local quality seals reduces the risk of buying fake oil by 85%. As shown during Operation Aceite in Spain, not a single bottle out of the 3,500 metric tons of counterfeit oil seized carried official certification of controlled origin. Trust verified producers. According to Europol statistics, large producers with long histories are 5 times less likely to be involved in fraud scandals. When the Italian financial police conducted Operation Oro Liquido, more than 90% of the companies arrested were newly established businesses less than 5 years old. How can you test olive oil quality at home? Smell is the first indicator. Pour a little oil into a glass and inhale its aroma. It should smell alive, like freshly cut grass, green apples, even tomato leaves. If there is barely any scent, what you have is a useless substitute. During Operation Zeytin in Turkey, experts instantly identified counterfeits by their lack of distinctive smell. Taste does not lie. Try it. A slight bitterness and a peppery finish are signs of a high polyphenol content, those antioxidants that protect the heart, blood vessels, and brain. The more intense the flavor, the more benefits it holds. If the oil tastes flat and dull, it has already been stripped of what makes it valuable. Laboratories working with the Greek police during Operation Athena confirmed a direct correlation between flavor intensity and the concentration of beneficial compounds. The refrigerator test is a myth. Some people say you should put olive oil in the refrigerator to check its authenticity. If it thickens, it is natural. But that is a myth. Different olive varieties behave differently, and even the best oil may remain liquid when cooled. Experts from the Food and Drug Administration in the United States debunked this method during a major investigation, proving it ineffective on hundreds of samples. This is not a matter where you can trust empty promises. Real olive oil is not just a product. It is a living elixir of health. In a world where counterfeits have become the norm, knowledge is your only protection. And remember, law enforcement agencies across the globe continue to fight the counterfeiting of olive oil, carrying out increasingly large-scale operations and refining methods for identifying fakes. But the best protection a consumer has is their own vigilance and awareness. Do not become an unintentional sponsor of international criminal networks, and do not risk your health in the name of questionable savings. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.